To get started, we are going to use violas or wild violets for our edible flower of choice. We are using a 2-inch silicone cocktail ice cube tray, and we're also using distilled water. You can buy distilled water, or you can also just boil tap water to make it distilled. Number one, I didn't show it in this video, but you want to make sure that you rinse your flowers before using, whether you buy them from the store or if you grow them yourself. And then the next step would be to, you're going to make these cubes in layers, especially since we're doing 2-inch ice cubes. We are going to just demo this doing 2 layers, but you could also do it in 3. So you're going to want to fill the ice cube tray at least halfway filled with water, your distilled water, evenly. And then depending on your flower size, you're going to add, at least 1 to 5 flowers per cube. These violets are pretty small, so we're adding, 3 to 5 flower blooms per cube. You can also add just petals. It's totally up to you, however you want to add them. Once you've completed filling in your cubes, you are then going to place in the freezer for at least 6 hours or just freeze overnight. Now that you have frozen the first layer, you're just going to repeat the same steps for the second layer, and you want to make sure that you work pretty quickly because you don't want your first layer to melt and your original flower placements to move around. After you're done, you're going to place in the freezer again for 6 hours or overnight. And now you can see the finished tray and how the floral ice cubes turned out. It's always a surprise, so it's always kind of fun to see what they look like once they're frozen. I'm just going to quickly show you what they look like when you remove them from the tray. And then you can add to a drinking glass with whatever beverage you'd like. I'm just going to use sparkling water, but you can add to your favorite cocktail. And then I'm also going to show you some examples of my failures, and just hopefully it will help you avoid doing these things before you make yours. So tip number 1 would be to make sure that you freeze in layers. As you can see from this first cube, I didn't use any layers and I just used 1 flower, and it floats to the top and then freezes at the top. The second tip would be to make sure you are using distilled water. You can see in this second cube that the cloudy layers, I did do layers, but they're all cloudy and you can clearly see them once they're frozen. And then tip number 3 would be to not be stingy with filling the cubes with flowers. It looks really sad if you only put 1 flower and it's a huge ice cube. If you have really large flowers, that could be really pretty and you might need 1. But if you're using smaller flowers, make sure to use a lot so that way they will show on all the different sides of the cube. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions and leave them below in the comments. And please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thank you.